Hello, honorable members of the class. So let's go back to the knockout and high court in the sense of Mayor analyzing trial, and Geninda is wasting our time. Like today, I feel like it was a great waste of time. A great waste of time because if you were not sure what exactly this trial is about when it comes to Geninda, or at least what is he heavily relying on more than anything else in this particular trial? The confessions. That's all that he's relying too much on, because every time when the accused make a denial, he always goes back to HH and JJ. Like they are the ones. And then you begin to realize that, yeah, this needed to be cooked up. Because irrespective of how the defense is going to ask their questions, especially to the lead investigator, he is going to refer them all the time to JJ or Exhibit JJ and Exhibit HH, that type of situation, which is, to me, it's a total waste of time. Even Zungu's statement itself, there was a part that really got my cheese grounded about an entry that Judge Ratha was like, this one is a cruise. Wait, don't worry. Mr. Baloy stood up and said, well, according to Shabalala versus I don't know who, the Constitutional Court ruled that that particular entry cannot be forcefully or be presented in court. I can't quite remember what was the diary entry that Mr. Gininda was talking about. I know it has something to do with Zungu. I will get back to you on that one because it really ground my chest. I think the reason why I'm forgetting is because I felt, that anger that builds inside your stomach and grows outwardly. That is how I felt when Rata really, like, with pleasure. With pleasure. Okay, fine. I get it that it is a constitutional court ruling. But the state, since it's so adamant about this case and they believe that these are the right people that they've brought before the court, then bring that diary entry. How about you courteously bring the diary entry and say, yeah, it exists, but they are going to hide it. As a judge, I would note that in my judgment, like you ought to have brought it. For me, it sounds like, or as a judge, it would sound like an accused taking the decision not to take the stand. Now, as a judge, my question will be, what are you hiding? And then I'll make a ruling of guilty because you decided not to take the stand. So same goes with this entry, because the lead investigator kept talking about it, but it was never presented as an exhibit in court. And now that the defense has asked courteously for it, then you bring in the Constitution or the constitutional decision on the Shabalala case, and now I don't think we'll ever see it because I don't think it existed. I think they knew this doesn't exist, but because it's a diary entry, they don't have to disclose it. That's just my take on this thing. But it was quite upsetting. I do not want to lie about that. But again, I don't blame Judge Rata for saying, hey, there's nothing I can do about it. This is a constitutional court judgment, and it's unappealable. You can't appeal a constitutional court judgment unless you take it to the United Nations. I don't know on what grounds, but unless you take it there or something like that. But for me, I felt like today was a total waste of time. Mr. Michelle was asking all the relevant questions. Everything that she was on, it was quite relevant, but it was the witness who was not giving the type of information one requires. Now let's talk about Mr. Shrope's statement. Remember, Officer Warren Makubo said that statement was stolen, allegedly. And I do, for some reason, my gut tells me that statement was indeed stolen. Hence, there had to be a second one and a third one. After Officer Makubo had opened a criminal case of defeating the ends of justice. So now with that case being open, I don't know if it was shredded. I'm talking about the original. I don't know if it was shredded or they obviously Ginita says he did go to Mr. Hlophe subsequently to ask him about this aspect of Tumelo Madlala, basically making that alleged phone call that Usenzo has been shot accidentally by Zandile's boyfriend as they were having a scuffle, right? And now that statement, apparently it was stolen. And I think the reason why he had to go back to him, because he has also hoped that that statement will not be the spitting image of the first one, which is unfortunate for Gininda. It was pretty much the same. And so that is how it went back into the docket. But he says it was never stolen. It was never. You just have to look at why did they have to go so many times to Mr. Hlophe, right? And then we talk about Tumelo Madlala. Remember the other time I said to you guys, it seems like Gininda keeps striking lucks in this case. Every time he made an investigation, he will get a breakthrough by some sort of luck. One moment, Tumelo Madlala, who is traumatized because his best friend just got shot in front of him, calls the family member because as a friend who is also known by the family is going to make that call and make that horrible announcement or report to the family. And now, suddenly, this is the lack of strike of luck. Ooh, English. This is a strike of luck that Gininda gets when now they are going to interview Tumelo, who denies ever making such a statement or making such a phone call to Mr. Hlophe. Of course, those 205s, I don't think we'll ever get them. I don't think so, because we've been told that 205s at a certain stage, they basically get deleted of Vodacom, which I'm still having a very huge problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. There is no way. There is no way. And this is in twofold for me. You get falsely accused of a crime that happened some years ago, and you know your cell phone records will show that you were never there. But because Vodacom deletes those things, now they're going to have to believe a version of the investigators. What about my side of the story? And I believe that it's the phone records that are going to tell or make my defense. I'm not good with that. And the second part is when you are indeed guilty of a crime that you committed some years ago, because Vodacom has cut off or deleted those records of those years ago when that crime was committed, now you're going to walk free. And everybody knows that the cell phone records of this alleged criminal is in the what do you call this, in the phone records. Now we can't get those phone records no more. It does not sit well with me at all. I think Vodacom, you are big enough, rich enough, and all of that enough for you to buy more space. I don't know if you buy this space or you create more space or whatever the case is. To delete that? No. Or at least keep them in like, I don't know, whatever it is that you keep records these days, because technology just keeps advancing. I cannot accept that. And I also cannot accept that the records of accused number 5, when he used to hire cars at this particular car hire, that the records of 2014 are missing. Again, this is like a convenience for me. Too obvious of a convenience that you got all the other ones, 2016, and we don't know why we're talking about 2016 when the thing happened 4 years prior. Is it 2 years prior? And then you're giving us records and fines at 2016. What does that got to do with anything? So if you were able to get the 2016 ones, including the 2011, I think at some point, what happened to the 2014 ones? That does not sit well with me. Too many coincidences here. I don't know if this judge is paying attention to those coincidences. If something like this has ever happened, where the investigating officer just striking luck. Everywhere he goes, he's collecting luck. And then he puts together this case. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Well, basically today, that is the only highlight I have for you guys, is that it was a total waste of time. But Mr. Michelle is doing a great job, because you can even tell with Gininda, he is very uncomfortable. Either he's having a December fatigue, or he's having a small mental breakdown because of these questions that Miss Michelle is asking. And I'm liking how he's answering these questions. He tried to say, I've already dealt with that, but Miss Michelle will bring him back by and say, no, we are talking about today, right now, not what you already dealt with. And the winding answers as well, he would attempt here and there. And then Miss Michelle will, Miss Michelle will do the Miss Michelle thing. It was quite interesting there. And let's see what happens tomorrow. And that interpreter is back. I almost threw up. Anyways, guys, that is that. What happened at the Knockout and High Court today? Everything is going good. Maybe let me share a little thing in my jig. You remember that incident that happened on Friday night? So this person went to court this morning and got 2,000 rand bail. I didn't even know that you would get bail that quick. But anyways, that's between them and the state. Now, when he came knocking on my door, apparently was kneeling down. Everybody's taking videos of him beg. I'm not even in the house at that moment. I'm somewhere else begging. Well, you know how Nigerians are like, right? When they realize they are in big trouble, they go down on their knees and start begging. Apparently was begging on his knees, crying for like an hour and a half while I was not at home. I'm like, yeah, welcome to South Africa. You don't just do as you please here. You don't. There are laws to be followed. You don't just go beating on a person. Can you believe it? I was beaten. Oh my God. Anyways, that story time shall be told when I'm no longer as traumatized as I still am. Thinking about it makes me so mad. Anyways, guys, let's see each other a little bit later. Goodbye.